Okay, no league night tonight, so just I don't know what this video is going to be right now, but we'll figure out as we go. Start out some warm-ups. I usually just throw the tank rampage pearl for the first couple of frames, well, at least for the first shot, just to kind of see what it's going to do. It always hooks a lot more on the first shot than the rest of it. You almost always get the strike. Not that time. Oof. Arm is sore, and that is why I do warm up. If I had known or realized last week was the last night of league, I would have brought both of my primal ghosts with me and tried some fun stuff, but I didn't know, so I didn't bring them both. Alright, I started throwing straight at that so I wouldn't chop it as much. Joke's on me. Alright, I did bring the Nebula tonight. Thought that would be fun. I don't mind stuff like that in warm up because extra shots of warm up. Ooh. The first couple of shots, I'm not even really looking for much. I mean, I'm kind of looking, but more about just getting the arm loose. So, something strikes, it strikes. If it doesn't, it's fine. On league when you got 5-man teams and you only got 10 minutes, you only get like 4 shots, so you really gotta figure out what you're doing quickly. But when you're bowling by yourself and you're bowling 8 games, I had 8 games, so I'm like, I'll just use all 8 games. You get a whole game of warm up, so you can take your time just warming up and then figure out what you're going to do after. So first half of the game is just warm up for me right now. Once I feel like my arm is completely loose, then I'll start trying to figure out which ball I'm going to use. Alright, so there's some friction on the outside. Let's see how much friction is on the outside. Alright, I got some friction out there. Oh. I mean, that was also a very slow bowling ball, but it did tell me that it's going to come back, so I can, move over with my apex shackle and get it out there. I'm just gonna throw the same exact line with the Nebula. See which one gives it a little bit more room to miss, essentially. That's a big miss. That's why we're warming up. Alright, but that's not what I want to throw. I want to throw... I brought my shadow tank with me. I haven't thrown that in a while. Kind of wanted to throw it today. So I'm going to grab it and throw that. Clearly the jackal looks good, so I'm going to decommission the Nebula right now. The thing with the tanks is you can't judge your first shot. The Rampage, you know, it really only needs like 2 shots before you're gonna see what it does. But the Shadow is kind of a little bit more like a Purple Hammer, not quite as bad. But you know, it's gonna take like 3 or 4 shots before you can really see what it does. If you have a tank, definitely throw it in practice, because you don't want to just start using it in the game and then, you know, you get 4 different shots and you can't figure it out. And you think it's just, oh, the lanes are bad, but really it's just the ball's not ready yet. See, I mean, that was 1 slide, 1 hook, 1 slide. Oh, there's a 5-pin off for the head pin off. 5-pin. Okay. So this should kind of tell us what it's going to be. I'm going to try and throw it just straight up with a little bit of speed. And then I'm going to throw the Tank Rampage Pearl just to see how much different they are right now. Is it hitting the friction, or is it getting through the oil? So that one didn't get quite out as far, but it does seem like it's getting through the oil. A light layer, but it's something. There's some friction. Nope. That's why these lanes can be very high scoring, but at the same time, there is an out of bounds on these. It's like a kind of like it, you know, house shot here is kind of like a modified house shot, but that also means you don't get penalized as much for getting out in the friction. Okay, I'm gonna start with the shadow tank. So we've got 7 games left. I'm gonna run shadow tank as long as I can. See if we can get, see if we can get a good series with it. I'm still gonna use the Tank Rampage Pearl for my spare ball, because I don't like throwing the shadow tank at the 10 pins. But we're gonna try and use it. I haven't used it in a while. I think the best I've done with it is 650. I don't know, but see if we can break 700 with the tank. move right or left? I'm gonna move left. Right, it's kind of like I'm playing a flat pattern right now. I mean, I'm not, but sometimes moving right, it'll just stay right, and moving left will make it go too far left. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's just thinking through it right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move right, hook across the lane, see how well I hook. Okay. Actually can't tell if that was just kind of sliding or if it was dying in friction. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, so I'm going to throw basically the same shot, but with the Rampage. Okay. No, it's just oil. If it was more friction, then the Rampage would have really made a little bit of a movement at the end. Oh no, take that back. No. I don't know. I sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about, because I kind of have no idea what I'm talking about at the moment. I'm trying to work through it. But actually, that's, sometimes that's how I figure stuff out, is thinking things a few different ways, realizing I'm wrong, and then trying to correct that. I want to throw straight at my single pins. When you're throwing on a sport shot, you can't rely on your normal hook, because it's going to be different for most sport shots. If you can throw straight at your spares, then you don't have to worry about that. Okay. I moved to 2 and 1 left on that last one. I'm just gonna go right back, just one right, but keep the same target. Hold it just a little bit. That's the problem when I can't throw one of these out. It makes it kind of difficult because I'll start pulling it. I can't move too far left with them. So we just gotta figure it out right now. That's what practice is for. All right, work through it. Okay. Really, all you do with this is just move towards left with your feet, but don't move your target. The goal is not to hit the 5-pin. The goal is to miss the pocket. That's all I'm gonna do. Move to left, but keep my same exact mark. Falling flat, which means I need to get the ball to really want to react at the end. So get a little bit of loft on it. And the loft is really more for me to get follow through than for me to clear any dry spots. Ooh, traffic jam. And a lot of practice on my 7 pins. You know, if you made it this far, congratulations. You like to be tortured. This is not going very well. And I'm not talking about my bowling, I'm talking about my talking. I am all over the place right now. Alright, let's try this again. Clearly not the right ball for right now. But I do need practice on my spares, so I'm gonna keep throwing it. Okay, let me move right, because clearly moving left is not working. I'm gonna move like right. I'm gonna like straight up 3. Just force the ball to go into the pocket. Go. I don't know if I was blocking or not. Hopefully not. That went out too far. That's a downside with urethane. Well, or non-urethane. If you're if you don't have the friction for the ball, it's not going to recover. I like to just hit the left side of the head pin on this one. Less chance of chopping it. It's like 50-50 if I try to throw a strike ball at that thing. All right, need the first 2 for 200, which will be the first double of the day. Well, the game I did double earlier. Okay, let's try this one more time. When I was just aiming at 5, I don't know what I hit, but I was aiming at 5 instead of 3. I also moved forward left with my feet. Light mixer. Okay, well, clean game, so at least one of my missions is accomplished. Probably still win it. It's a clean game. Okay. 203. Normally I would, normally I wouldn't even use that ball that long, but normally I'd switch to reactive if I really needed, score. But I want to keep using it Because sometimes you find something when you're not really looking. So, you know, maybe find something that helps me later. I'm not blocking the camera, right? Alright, I'm flying it with the gutter, so yeah. Alright, same thing. I'd say, you know, when you're throwing the wrong ball, when you're just gonna leave a lot of 7 pins, 5 pins. That basically just means you leave 5, 7. That just means the ball's hitting the pocket at a very shallow angle, and it's just deflecting. Didn't get it out far enough. All right, so what we can do is we can just adjust our hand a little bit, try and get it to hit the pocket a little harder. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna move left, like really far left, and slow it down and see if hopefully we're not out of the ball's range of recovery. Oh, missed that one. That's why I don't mind throwing the wrong ball right now, because I need practice on that kind of stuff. Okay, we're a little too far left. Move a little bit back right. Try the same thing. Kicker. Got a little bit of hold in the middle. So when you need to throw like a slow, big hook, essentially just pretend like you're trying to hit the 7 pin. Like literally, like your goal is right now is to hook it through the pocket to the 7 pin. Like don't even worry, don't even look at the pocket. Like you're trying to hook it across the lane to the 7 pin. But you're throwing the wrong ball, so it's not gonna get to the 7 pin. Like if you ever want to see what I'm talking about, just take a ball and just move as far left as you can, and just try to hit the 7 pin. Try to hook all the way across the lane, hit the 7 pin. Most of the time, it comes up short, and if you really pay attention to it, a lot of times it goes right through where the pocket is. That's essentially what I sometimes do when I need to get myself to really get the ball across. Is, you know, I try to hit the 7 pin, but with the wrong ball. But you gotta really commit to it. Okay, well, I didn't commit to it. Stood up, pulled it, but now we get to try the 14. All I'm gonna do is, you know, stand very close to where I should throw my 10 pin. Actually, got a board and a half left to where I throw my 10 pin, and just throw over the 3rd arrow. 7-pin miss is hurting us. And the splits, they are what they are. So let's try and commit this time. There we go. If you try to hit the pocket, you're not going to hit the pocket. But if you try to drive through the pocket, it becomes a whole nother game. I think that's what they, say in like boxing or karate and stuff, like, karate, like, don't hit the wood, hit through the wood. That's essentially what you're doing. So don't hit the pocket, hit through the pocket. And this is really just a practice technique that kind of gets you to start to feel what it's like to, kind of overcommit to a ball. It doesn't seem to work very well, like, trying to do that in an actual game, because you're going to be kind of all over the place. But it's kind of, it's like a beginning move to try to get you to be able to move inside. Because you're going to be all over the place. It's very hard to commit to it. You trick yourself a few times, but eventually, it becomes where you're like, okay, you start focusing on the pocket again. So it's really more just to, learn your hand motion. All right. We still strike out for 190, so we can save this game a little bit. Once again, commit to it. That's just the hardest part. See, that's why it's not good for games, because it's great for practice, but bad for games because, sometimes you are going to go through, past the pocket. But let's try this. Actually, I'm going to just go one more left. Yeah, one more left. I need to move my target one left. Straightened out too much. Okay. Alright, obviously 700 is not going to be possible with that ball. So we are going to switch it up. Well, I know the apex is looking good, for the one or two shots that I throw it. And, that lane, the one nice thing about throwing the tank is it might give us a little bit more hold in the middle. Hold doesn't really do you a lot of good if you stay right. You got to move left to take advantage of the hold. So we're gonna not quite as far left as I was in practice, but somewhere between there and where I was throwing the tank just now. Came up light, and you would think I should move right. And you'd be correct. Miss right, move right. Not always the case, but usually. Outside of the line that my tank essentially just created. So, bowling against somebody throwing urethane is not a problem. It's just knowing how to use it. So, it's like, what I was saying, like, I like sometimes saying the wrong thing. I don't need to move too far left right now. I need to basically just move slightly left of where I was throwing the tank. I mean, I'm literally 2 boards left, and I'm just going to throw across the line. Something I'm thinking wrong or something I'm doing wrong. But I'm going to move right and I'll look at this one just to kind of see what the lane's doing. Okay, I think it's me. I think it's my hand. That should have snacked back a little more. I think it's my release. Make sure I follow through with this one. Trying to think this out. You just gotta move right, even though you don't think that's the right move. Left didn't work. Let's move right. To right of where I was throwing the shadow tank at the end, and right where I was throwing it in the beginning. Okay. Hitting that friction right down at the end, letting the ASIM take over. Let's see if that's the spot. Should have looked at speed on that last one. I think I might have sped up just a little bit. I like to throw it fast, so sometimes I throw it faster than I mean to. If I can choose between finesse or speed, taking speed. Sometimes you can't throw speed. I know that was actually much faster. I don't know where they how they measure the speed. sometimes when you throw it out, it's slower than when you get more of a straight shot, even though it really isn't. Yeah, like those two, they really kind of basically felt the same. But you know, like almost over half a mile an hour difference. Ooh, we got the 7th in. I'm not gonna. I'm not going well. Actually, I like these kind of days just because I like getting confused and trying to figure out what is it going wrong. Is it? Am I missing? Like, what is it that I'm missing right now? I'm just gonna get that pin out because I don't want to watch it. But I may be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't know why you want to do that, but or kill no birds. Oh. That hurt. Don't do that. I would have been better off throwing 2 fingers instead of just gripping the empty Jopo. Actually, it hurt a lot. Alright. Let's try a different ball. Okay. 2694 is great. 4-3. Sometimes when you're getting confused, sometimes, I'm not saying every time because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but sometimes when you're getting confused, it's actually because the ball that you're throwing is too strong. So even though it seems like it's sliding, it's really kind of rolling out. I don't know if that's the case right now, but it does seem like the Nebula is reacting a little bit better at the back end. Meaning it still has the energy. Now, Nebula has a slightly weaker cover and a much weaker core, so it doesn't want to turn over quite as quickly. Under the same exact conditions, the Nebula should appear to hook more. No, that's wrong. Because it really depends on what conditions you're talking about. That was just a bad shot. I don't know why you're still watching. Like, do yourself a favor. Go find somebody quick to watch. But we're gonna pick this up. Ooh, almost had it. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna hit that with surface. I am a big proponent of surface. I don't want to go too crazy. What do I have with me now? Okay, I got a 2000. Let's hit it with 2000 and see if I can get the reaction that I'm looking for right now. Sound like I was pushing some buttons. You know, if I had a lot of friction on the outside, the way this ball was, it would have been perfect. But it's not, like, it did get a little bit of reaction, but it's not like, it's not coming off the gutter and going high. So there's not a ton of friction. I'm just gonna move 2 left toward the same line I just threw. Hopefully not get it out as far, but even if I do, I should be able to pull myself back. Okay. Whew. Let me see. 2000 is a lot. That means I can have fun with it. So we're gonna see how far left we can go with it. I'm gonna move 7 boards left. 7 and 4. Move a little bit more. Really, probably only like 2 or 3 is fine. I'm actually going to make a big jump. I'm going to go another 7 and actually, so we're at 6 left, and where was I? 6 left, and so 13 left in total from where we were before the surface, and target's about 8 left of where it was. All right, so now we know the edge of it right now. I can stand there, literally just move my target 1 left, and probably be good. Keep doing that one. I gotta stand on the left side of it and throw more straight at it. I keep standing right of it and kind of throwing at that angle, but the problem is if I miss on the right side, it's gonna go leave the back pin every single time. Okay. So I am gonna move 1 right, but just keep the same target. Now we get to take advantage of that hold that I was talking about earlier. Hold. Hey. I think we found the sweet spot. I think you don't have to be a perfect bowler. You just got to find a spot that makes you look like a perfect bowler. Like none of those were the same line, not one. This is what the pros do. They build up these lanes. You know, they take some of the toughest patterns you can bowl on, and when they're all doing the same thing, the lanes start to open up to where now you have room to miss. Even pros aren't perfect. I mean, they're a lot better than, you know, me, or, you know, if you're not a pro, you. But, you know, unless you're EJ Tackett watching me, which I highly doubt. This is what they look for. The key is to know when to go looking for it, and that's probably the hardest thing. And if you don't have a ball that's already kind of set up for it, this is why you can't go to some of these tournaments with, you know, 5 bowling balls, 6 bowling balls. You gotta go with, you end up going with like 14, and then you don't even use half of them. But you need them, you know, something set up for like this, where it might be the ball that you need. I mean, it's a completely different game now. Went from having no clue what to do to now, you know, don't want to get ahead of myself, but having a line that just can't, you know, has so much room on it. That's a big difference. Looking like we were going to shoot 160 again. All right, let's see if we can get 5 more. This is what happened with me in the tournament that I had 2 weekends ago. I just found a line that was just giving me tons of room. And I just was able to just keep finding it on every lane. I knew my bowling balls. The shot was predictable. So I just kind of already knew what was going to work. And I was able to find it. I want to hit the mechanic. Is that how you guys fix the lanes? Just a bunch of duct tape?
We're getting
Lucky strike.
Lucky strike. When they call, so they asked, because you got to measure it, and then you send them in, and they make stickers for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Oh, measure the sweep." So she measured the whole sweep. So when they said the stickers were like banners. I said, "Nicole, what are those for?" She goes, "They're composed for the sweep." I go, "It ain't gonna fit." She goes, "But they told me to measure the sweep." I go, "Yeah." I said, "Measure that. There's an indent in the sweep. So you see how like where it's it's like an indent." I said, "Measure the inside of that." I said, "Because it's smaller." So she remeasured it and submitted it. So hopefully they make some stickers. I mean, these things were like airplane banners, bro. Like they were like this big and like this long. I'm like, yeah, no.
I'm sure we can find somewhere to put them.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll just be whatever stickers.
They should put them on like do like some kind of like an auction or something. Be like leftover stickers, you know, for anybody who's a fan of Lucky Strike, which probably not a lot of people.
I have a bunch of Bolero ones. I gave a couple of them to Leo. He said, "I'll put on my truck."
All right.
Only Leo will want that.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we at? 8. TV commercial. Let's see if we can keep it going. All right. 10 pen's getting a little late there. And don't get me wrong, I'm not backpedaling. I like Bolero. You hear so many stories about Bolero. I've never had actually really any bad experiences with them, other than the fact that they won't host a regional in Florida. But you know, maybe this new PBA Elite will change everything. I know a lot of information came out today, but I haven't looked at it yet. But you know, maybe they'll put more at their bowling alleys. But you know, it's aside from that, you know, I get the summer pass. I you know, use my practice games all the time. You know, AMF Margate has had some issues, you know, as far as like equipment break-in and stuff, but you know, they do the best they can with it. So, you know, the corporate side of it, you know, I don't think anybody ever likes any corporate, but you know, the thing people forget is a lot of these bowling alleys, they're run by corporate, or they're owned by corporate, but they, you know, it's still each one has an individual person trying their best to do what they can with it. So when you get the right people in there, you know, they figure it out. Ooh, pulled that one, finally. I love Brooklyn's. All right. That's right. My first 300, my 11th ball was a Brooklyn. So, one more, let's see. Oh, what'd I tell you? That 10 pin. Oh, $2.99. Okay, but I mean, just, you know, finding it from what we were doing before to that. The problem is when I move left like that, all of a sudden my 10 pins get all over the place. So let's see if we can like straighten this one out. Oh, got it. All right. Straighten that one out. Okay, we're gonna stick with the Nebula because, you know, why not? I'm gonna I'm not gonna even move. I'm just gonna try and get a little bit more, just really set a little bit more on an up angle. You know, a little bit of baby loft. Like you might not even see a difference. It's more of how it feels. That should help get the 10 pin out. Alright. You know, I will take another 11 in a row and a 10 pin all day long. If you stuck around this far, either you're asleep, because I actually sometimes will put my own videos on just to kind of fall asleep. So either you're asleep, you're one of the people that really like to watch me bowl bad. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, my numbers when I'm live, when I'm bowling bad, my numbers seem to be a little bit higher for some reason. Hold. Ooh. Light mixer. Or I don't know, maybe I am making sense with some of the stuff I'm saying and you're actually learning something. Or you just really like bowling and you've already watched everything else and there's literally nothing left. That, or you are an executive at Bolero and you're just trying to get as much information while you're watching this, so you can kick me out of all the Boleros for saying that nobody's going to want a Bolero sticker. Like I said, that's just because of what I hear. I personally do not want a Bolero sticker, but AMF, I love it. AMF, you know, it's got a history behind it. AMF, Brunswick, like, you know, those are still very nostalgic. Bolero, Lucky Strike, you know, they don't really have any significant, what do they call them, sentimental value to me. So, you know, if I was a Bolero employee, you know, I'd have Bolero underwear on, because when I am a part of something, I go all in. But I say that, you know, even though I'm basically all in on Motiv, but it's hard for me to go all in on something I'm not really a part of. But I also, when I find something I like, I stick with it. So that's yeah, I'm not making any sense right now. Okay, let's just keep striking. A little inside. We got our hold. Okay, I don't know where I was going with that before, but pretty much what you can learn from this right now is learn how to put surface on your ball. Learn what is the right surface, when to use it, and the only way you can do that is to put the wrong surface on a bunch of times. You can't know your limits unless you hit the limits or go past the limits. So figure out what works for you. It might take a year, which is kind of where I'm at before I started really understanding what I wanted when I wanted it. But you can see we went from the wrong ball. Oh, we went from the right ball. The apex looked good in practice. To the wrong ball. Back to what I thought was the right ball, which ended up being the wrong ball. To a ball that kind of looked good, but wasn't right. To where I don't think anything in my bag would have worked. I needed to change something. And I needed to change the surface, try to get it to react to the oil differently than what I was doing. That's really out. I don't know, find a line. Went from 694 after 4 games to 1203 after 6 games. That's 10 pin. I called it too, like 2 frames before that. I'm like, oh, that got weak, and I'm like, it's waiting.
Were you getting like late hit?
Yeah, it was just that one late hit. I should have adjusted a little bit sooner, but and that was the 11th strike, or that was the 12th strike too. That was 299. Trying to see if I can go another 11 and a 9. Okay, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, 7 again. Okay. So, let's just see if we can repeat that again. Maybe get farther. I don't know what my longest streak is, but in recent history, I've gotten 14. Hold. It's so weird how that, like, just that inside line is, it is holding. Although I'm expecting it to do a little bit more at the end, but it's not. But then it's getting that light mixer, which is like, it's like the miss is like this line, the missing a little bit left, and it goes Brooklyn. Missing a little bit right, and you get that, or missing inside, and you get that light mixer. And then, getting it out, you're going to bring the 10 pin into play, but it's just working. Man, you guys stuck around for this. Thank you. Yeah, it's like I even said earlier, I'm not going to post this, but now I'm definitely posting it. But not because all of a sudden I'm feeling good, or just, just to show you like how much just one little thing can just change, the entire game, the entire day. And it's like, if you don't find that thing, you're going to have a bad day, possibly. And then if you do, it's like all of a sudden it's like amazing. But it's like just that one little thing away. And you just got to find it. Finally got one, right? That's because I got it online, but I didn't have the right speed. So it grabbed. Now, on a house shot, you're basically just, you're trying to essentially miss the 3 pin to the right, and then hoping the friction brings it back. There's not a lot of friction here, so it can make it difficult. On a sports shot, this is 3/16. It's the hardest easy spare. On a house shot, this is like it's pretty easy, but because you just got to get out to the friction, just kind of let it come back. But on a sports shot, a lot of times you let it get out and it slides past the 3, or it goes through the 3 pin and you chop it. It's so we're gonna throw straight at it. Basically, I'm just going to throw where I throw my 10 pin, but just move one board to the right but keep the same target. So it's just moving the angle just slightly. But, you know, there's right there. Okay, so that would have been, that would have been a 286 if I got it, if I picked it up, right? Yeah, because that was, so 7 and then 3, that's 10. So that would have been my 11th ball. So 280, what's that, 284? Okay, so 299, 284 since we started striking. So, you know, let's see if we can break 800. Just gotta keep that speed up. I need to move one to the left. I don't want to move too much, because that's the other thing with surface. The ball is going to want to roll out. So once you start to lose the oil, that's what it's going to do. It's going to grab, it's going to roll out. So it's not a forever shot, but that's when you start to move. You know, right now, really, I should move to my Sigma. You know, it's going to give me a very similar shot, and it's going to be cleaner. But it's also, at this point, is going to bring more splits into play. So we're just going to move, see if we're still getting our 10 pin out. So just one to the left, just opening up the angle slightly, see if we still get the 10 pin out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we'll stick with that. We don't want to introduce something that we don't need to introduce. But we also don't want to stay with it too long. But that's what practice is for, is, you know, figuring out like when your break points are. Hold. All right, so now we aren't getting that light mixer in the hold anymore. That's where I need to be on that bucket. A little bit left of where I was before. Okay. No, still shoot 278. Stick with it. Just got to make sure we get it out. We don't have our hold as much anymore, so we got to make sure we get it out. Okay, I think the ball is rolling out. So we're not going to we're not going to switch to the what am I thinking? The Sigma just yet. We're actually going to switch to my Primal Ghost. It's still solid, but it is shinier. This one you can hook at it, or just kind of throw like you're throwing at your 4-pin. The key is to hit the left side of the 2-pin. You hit the right side, you might get it, but now you're just hoping that it banks. hit the left side of it, and the ball's just gonna kick into it. Okay, so same spot, but a little bit of a cleaner cover with a slightly stronger core. I slowed it down because I thought it was going to, hook, or I thought it was gonna slide too much. All right. This is essentially the same thing I was trying to throw out earlier, when I was trying to get the 7-pin out. So I'm kind of getting like another shot at it. I'm just gonna move like another half a board to the right of where I was, and then just see if that helps. All right, once we lost our line, it going back to where we were. All right. I'm gonna move another 2 left. I am now basically on the one board on the left side of the lane, just throwing across the lane. Oh, I got the week 10. We'll see how this 10th frame goes. I may need to switch to the Sigma. Sigma is it's gonna give me a little bit more back end, which gives me a little bit more angle. But for now, we're gonna stick with this and just try to get a little bit more loft on it. Ooh, all right, too much. Okay. Did I bring the Sigma? Oh, I did not bring the Sigma this week. Okay then, we are not throwing the Sigma. So, Primal Ghost is our ball. Ooh, I would have got the 410 there. I would have missed the 2.7. Okay, so we did for the last 3 games 230, 279, 295, so 704. I mean, that's not bad. From our strikes though, we were 299, 280, and now we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 frames. You're staring at my bald spot, aren't you? Okay. 7 frames. I'm gonna fast forward through this while I think about it. But no, I'm kidding. Gotta let my brain catch up. All right, so 28 plus 20, 48, plus 18 is 66. No. Yeah, 48. Nice. You're just taking them off right now? And you gotta put the new one. Oh, because the new ones haven't even got here yet, right?
Yeah, I haven't got here now. So I just figured I'd just take them all, that way just put them on when they get here.
Yeah.
We would have had them if
Okay, we're at 66 in the 4th, and then hey, look at that, 66 is there. So that actually works out great. Why does that work out great? Oh no, we were 66 in the 7th. Okay. So 66 in the 7th, plus another 18 is 74. No, 84. No, 84. Plus 9 is 95. Plus 20 is 115. And then, so I got 115 in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th frame, and spare in the 7th. So 115, working on a spare. I'm gonna write this down. This is just really more for me. And torture for you guys. How's it going? Okay. There. 8-1. Right. 9 spare. Oh, 93. I don't know why I said 95. So we're at 93, and then 113. 299 to 80, 284. We're at 583, so we got to shoot 217 to get 800. And right now, if we strike out, we get 223. So I need the next 5 strikes. Well, I need the next 4 strikes. So 4 strikes to break 800. But 1 miss is means we don't get it. So we got to get these next 4. There's 1. Sorry, I gotta catch my breath. Maybe that's a little out. Got that 10 pin out. Okay. There's 2. Oh, that was a bad shot. Oh, that stinks. All right, we had a little bit of a good run there. That was fun. I'm gonna throw my apex, see if that would have been the right ball. So this would be the fill ball. 133. 28 is 41, 51, 61, 61, 181. So strike gives us 201, which would put us at 784. I mean, not a bad series. $779. Ooh, $780. Cool. Okay, well, that would be an unfortunate thing if that had all been in line. You know, only needing 217. Need your first 800 series. Okay, let's make sure we get this. Okay, let's still have a big game here. Am I getting that? Am I getting that reaction that I was getting before on those inside ones? I'm gonna go back to the Nebula. I'll even throw this. Sometimes throwing reactive at ace can kind of help it. Okay. Well, I guess if you're still with me, then you're almost definitely asleep. Or you enjoy a little bit of disappointment in your life. Or you just want to see how I'm going to figure out how to get back where I was. Seeing like the big guys with those huge rev rates, like Mikey Schleybaugh and you know, Ethan Fiore and EJ Tackett, they would take out, and they're all Motiv guys. They'd probably take out like the Venom Shock, or the Sigma, or even the Nebula. Actually, Max Thor Hybrid, which I also didn't bring, and they'd be throwing it lofting over the gutter right now, actually. Yeah, because I need to move a little bit further left with that ball. But I can't let it get out. I can't pull it in because the hold, almost too much hold. I can't let it get out too much because then it's not going to have the right angle to come back. And I don't really have the right ball right now with me to get that far left. So I gotta move left, but it's gonna close up my window a little bit. Sport shot, that would've got it. Well, I guess it depends. Short pattern, no, but it still missed. Actually, probably would have hooked enough to where I still would have got it, but. All right. Drag out for 219. I'm gonna move a little bit more left. Just try to get that angle into that pocket. That should be good. This is the problem, is if I was on that lane, I'd be on the gutter right, or on the ball return right now, which is something I actually have to work on, is sidestepping the ball return. Or, you know, getting the short approach. I actually prefer sidestepping. It just seems to work better for me. I haven't been able to do the stutter step or the two-step. So that is definitely something I need to work on. And sometimes you think to yourself, shouldn't have switched. And I switched because of the hold, because I knew the angle was kind of closed up, but I also wasn't seeing what I'm seeing now. So, you know, it just, I didn't have the right information in front of me. But there's no, that was why I switched, because I knew I couldn't pull it in like that. I didn't have, you know, that the middle there's just a lot of oil in the middle. So I needed something that would get outside of the oil and get back. I didn't think this ball was going to continue to do it, but apparently it can still come back from here right now. Okay, well, thank you for watching if you watched. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Oh, you know, if you were watching my live last Monday, the mic, it cut out in the middle, and I didn't realize it because there's no indicator that it cuts out, and so it just literally cut out mid-sentence, and I don't think it ever came back. So it just. Yeah, it just, you know, that was because I was using my AirPods instead of my DJI because I forgot it. These DJI mics they're something. I got them as part of a package with the DJI camera. The DJI camera is crap. I forget what it's called. It's like the GoPro style one. The 5. The reason it's crap is because it's just too wide, and it doesn't take a good enough picture for you to crop it. Even if you do 4K, it heats up, it runs through the battery. It's great for you know, extreme sports, not great for bowling blogs. But these mics they're awesome because, you know, the 7-hour live I did the other day, one mic lasted that whole thing. So these are the mic minis. These aren't even the big ones. You know, it comes with like this case, which is like the charging case, and it's got the adapter so it'll connect directly to the DJI, but then it's got an adapter that connects into the iPhone, and it's a pass-through, so you can charge the iPhone or USB-C device, whatever it is, while it's connected. But you know, and it comes with 2 mics, and you know, I've never even needed to use the second mic. Like as far as like battery, also I don't know, you know, how well it would work with you know, if there's 2 people using it. You know, maybe one day I'll have my bowling partner wear one. But yeah, so you know, the Nebula with 2000 was the hero today. The Primal Ghost, if I had hit it with like 3, probably would have been a little bit better. You know, 2 would have actually made it stronger than the Nebula because it's got a stronger core, slightly. But actually, I gotta look at those numbers. I'm not sure if it has a stronger core. It has a stronger cover, but the Rampage Pearl, the red one, set below the Nebula. So it actually, the Primal would probably then be the weaker core, which actually would have made it, you know, 3,000 on it would have put it right where we needed. So, you know, that's something we need to work on, essentially. But, you know, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And, you know, hopefully doing a regional here soon. I got to look at what the new PBA thing is. My goal was to bowl the RPI in Port St. Lucie, the qualifier, and then if I, you know, got a qualifying position, I was going to bowl in North Carolina, but that tournament got canceled. The Port St. Lucie one is still on apparently, but they moved it back to November. So, and I got to look to see if I can even get in that one because I don't know how they're changing it with it, you know, being elite and all that stuff. So I may end up bowling in the Virginia one next weekend. So not this weekend coming up, but the weekend after that, the 23rd, which that's the one that I bowled in last year. Started out really good, but then that was different. So like the tournament that I had 2 weekends ago, that one I was tired. Like I felt like I could fall asleep, but I never really got weak. Whereas the one in Virginia last year, where I was bowling with CJ Petrin, you know, started out good, but I actually got like weak. Like I felt like I was going to faint. Like I felt sick, and that lasted for a good 2 games. And I was doing pretty good up to that point, and it was just like a sudden thing. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. But that, you know, there's a lot of factors. I wasn't sleeping well on, like I wasn't getting the sleep I needed. But there was a tournament the same week that started on Tuesday. So there was regional Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I didn't bowl Thursday because I didn't qualify. But then, you know, so I had Thursday off, and then Friday 2-hour practice, and then Saturday, you know, just got back into it. By the time I was throwing, it was shark which I love long patterns, but I was throwing 360 on some of my bowling balls, and you got to have speed to throw 360. So it was taking me a lot of energy, and I had bowled a lot of games up to that point. So I didn't have the energy anymore. And on top of that, being sick from the drive and from the allergies and stuff from a new city, Norfolk, Virginia. It was middle of the summer, so it's like you got so much stuff going. There's just like a million different factors, and probably the biggest thing was I didn't know how to move inside. I didn't have that in my bag. It was not a skill that I had even really attempted. So once my line on the outside was gone and I couldn't throw it anymore, I had nowhere to go. I think now that I can play the outside and move inside, and I understand the surface and everything better, I think I'll have a little bit of a better shot. Unfortunately, it's not Shark, it's the PBA 40, or the regional test pattern 40. But I think if I bowl in it, I think I'll actually have a legitimate shot. And the RPI qualifier, if that's what it still is, in Port St. Lucie in November now, the first week in November, is also on the PBA Regional 40, but it's the version 2, so I don't know if there's a difference between them. I bowled in that one in the non-champions earlier this year, but I was playing it wrong, so that was kind of where I learned how to move inside, but then I tried to move inside too soon, and then but I was doing it with the wrong ball. It was a lot of things. I didn't really fully understand what I was doing at the time, but I kind of started seeing more when to move in, so I think that'll help me. So we'll see what's going to be happening coming up. I'm going to do a couple more practice games here and there. There's no leagues right now. Next league, EBA starts August 23rd. So I think I'm on a team for that one. And if I am, and I'm not bowling in the regional, then I will at least have that. EBA is it's like you got 17 franchise teams, and then each week 2 franchises bowl against each other, and you have 3 teams in each franchise, a scratch and 2 handicap teams, and then you get points for individual, points for team, and then points for franchise total. And it's a lot of fun, that league. And so right now, I believe I am on a team for that. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. And if I'm not, there's there's 17 teams, so I'll find one that I can bowl on. I just haven't really been looking because, like I said, I think I'm already on a team. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And then Tuesday Night League starts in September, so I'll start putting that up there. And then some tournaments here and there. I may be bowling in the scratch tournament this weekend in Green Acres, but that one, the Wi-Fi is kind of iffy, so we'll see how that one goes. And that's on a short pattern, but the scores can be pretty high with these custom patterns that they've been putting out. Even though on paper it looks really tough, but the way they're designed, it's kind of designed for those lanes, so it kind of makes the scores pretty high. I don't know, but thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. And if there's anything anybody ever wants to see, just leave a comment on the video. I don't always see the comments right away because I don't open up my my YouTube Studio app every day, and I don't know if it gives me the notification when I get a comment. But I will, once I see it, I will I always try to respond if it's something that is, looking for a response. So that's probably the best way to, just to interact. If I'm not live, just leaving a comment on a video. Yeah, so okay. I mean, Motiv, Storm, anybody? I love Motiv, but I would like to be a part of a team, and I go all in. So, I am available, and I understand the bowling balls. So, I think I can. I think I can be, somewhat beneficial. I have to have some confidence in myself, right? So, I don't think you'd be. I don't think you would regret your decision of letting me be part of the team and getting showing off some of this equipment. I'm still going to keep doing what I do. Either way, I'll probably still continue to throw Motiv because I know Motiv the best. So I can, when a new Motiv comes out, I know whether I need it, where it's going to fit in my bag. So it's familiar to me. I see a lot of Storm bowling balls that come out that do look good, but I don't really know them, and I don't have the resources to test. So at this point, it's I either know I'm getting a bowling ball, or it's just, if it happens, it happens. There's not really too many bowling balls I buy anymore where it's like I don't really know exactly how it's going to go, but we'll see. Usually I know exactly what I'm getting when I buy it. The Storm Concept was the last one where it's like I wasn't really sure, but I also kind of had an idea of exactly what it was going to do, just based on the numbers and everything it said. It was, a little bit of a, it could go one way or the other, but there wasn't another ball on the market that fit where that concept fit, at least on paper. That's why I went with that one. But most of the time, I'll be going with Motiv unless something changes. Thank you for everybody that watches. Like, subscribe. If you get annoyed with my videos and stuff, then you can always just unsubscribe. So it doesn't really take a risk to subscribe to me. I guess it helps me out with algorithms and stuff. I don't know. I'm not doing this for money or anything. If I never hit 1,000, I never hit 1,000. I just want to reach as many people as I can. The more people like it and interact with me, the more it makes YouTube want to get other people to watch and interact, which is, it makes it that much more fun. That's really all I'm about is having fun with it. If I ever stop enjoying bowling, then I'll stop bowling. But I enjoy it, so and I enjoy making videos, and I enjoy when people interact with me. Feel free. I'm not really good at actually interacting with people, so if you do see me in person, say hi. Don't expect too much. But I do enjoy at least knowing that people are watching, and I would still appreciate people saying hi. Just outward emotions don't convey what I'm actually feeling. I'd probably get home and run to my wife and tell her, hey, somebody recognized me. At the same time, be like, oh, hi. Don't expect much. But if you have a question, even if it's a stupid question, I will answer it. If you want to do small talk, I am bad at that. So, if you want to say hi, say hi. If you have a question, ask your question. Other than that, it's It is what it is. All right, I'm just gonna keep rambling on and on and on and on. Okay, have a good night or morning or day or year or whenever you're watching this. Bye.